back here with another Fantasy Fishing Edge show. We're going to discuss the Bassmaster Elite Series at St. Lawrence this week. We're still hanging just barely in the red up here, 83.5% and ranking in the top 5 to 6,000. So hoping to make a push in these last three events, so take that into consideration. Starting with bucket D. I'm going to go with Chris Zaldain. To me, there's only three people worth really looking at in this bucket. And that's Pippins, Zaldain, and Marizo Shimizu. Shimizu has fished here twice, 24th both times. Pippins has fished 2 Elite Series events and 2 Costa events with an average 22nd finish. And Zaldain has an average of 16th. He's got a 15th and or 16th and a 17th in 2 Elite Series events. So I think the fact that Zaldain's ownership is just a little bit less, he's 24 spots better. He's the best angler in this bucket from a points. He's on the verge of moving up to bucket D. I think he's the smart choice. If you're down in the standings and looking to make a big percentage move, I think then you should go with Shimizu. So that's my assessment on bucket E. Jumping into bucket D, there's a handful of guys to really look at here. If we look at owner percentage, flip this the other way. There's some popular picks with Van Dam, Lucas, Mueller, Card, even Crochet, which is a little interesting. But I think Schultz, Mueller, Brandon Card are your best bets for this bucket, your safest plays. Van Dam hit a second here, but he also had an 81st here, so he's a probably a good pick. I'm not sure what happened with that 81st. Maybe there's something mechanical, but in the most recent events, he had a pretty bad finish here. Kobe Krieger has done really well here way back, but hasn't done here great recently. I like Bernie Schultz. He's got a 6th and a 15th here. He's a pretty decent percentage guy. He always seems to get smallies, even though he's a Florida guy. So I'm going to go with him. Justin Lucas is starting to trend things the right way. So there's a lot of decent picks, but I'm going to go with Bernie Schultz in this one. Bucket C. I think you could make an argument for Aaron Martins as being the best pick, but his percentage is really high. In his 2 events here, he's got a 5th and a 13th. Powroznik's 2 Elite Series events are 3rd and 7th, so actually a little bit better. And then back in 09, he fished a Costa and finished 36th, so a little more experience. His Elite Series average is a little better, but his overall average is a little worse. But because of the percentage, I'm going to go with Powroznik. Obviously, Aaron Martins is a really good pick. If you're you want to mix these up. You want to take some risks on some and go with a percentage on the others, so you don't get burned. Kennedy has done okay here. So is Elton Jones. He had one really, just out of the money finish. Last time he was second. He put a couple weeks in to really learn how to catch him after he just missed the money. He stayed up there for an extra week or two, and then that paid off. He came back and got a second here last time they were there. Andy Montgomery is kind of a sneaky pick. He's 20th and 22nd. These 2 events here, so pretty good value for bucket C and a pretty low percentage ownership. So if you like Andy Montgomery, that's something to think about. Guys like Avina, John Murray, also good picks based on history here. Jumping into bucket B, Mike Iaconelli has taken the spotlight here. He has an average finish of 22nd over 4 events. He had one bad finish in the Elites here in August 2013, but he finished 10th last time. And then he also has 2 top 10s in Opens and Costas in previous years on this. Josh Bertrand is a good pick here if you're looking to play the percentage. He has a 5th and a 13th in 2 Elite Series events. Powroznik has a 7th and a 3rd. Also good, but you can get a little more value with Bertrand. Avina has never fished an Elite Series event, but took a 17th in a Costa event here once. Oh, sorry, wrong bucket. Stretch, Avina. Clifford Perch, Dave Lefebvre, Brent Ehler, all guys that have done pretty decent here. The one guy to really look at here, and I really thought about picking him, is Jamie Hartman. He's actually fished 13 events between Opens, Costas, and BFLs. So he has a really strong BFL record here with lots of top 10s and almost wins. not so great in bigger events like the Costas in 08 and 09. He was in the money, but not way up. So something to look at. He has a ton of experience on here, and probably a pretty safe pick, although he did not do that well at Oneida, and that's also in his home fisheries not too long ago. So a little bit of emotion, I guess, just gut feel. I'm going to go with Seth Feider, who actually took 12th last time we were here. Last time the release series here, he's fishing well, looking to make a strong push, going in the northern swing so he can make a bid at a classic. So I like Seth, but I think Hartman is also a really good pick and a little bit better percentage play. So if you're looking to move up, I would look at Hartman and Bertrand and maybe even Perch. Bucket A. Before we get into that, let's just check out a couple nuggets. So he just want to check some social media stuff here. Here's a picture on Walker's Facebook page showing off this new trick shot Z-Man. Obviously he's feeling the drop shot will be strong here, and that's probably true. Giving insight to what the guys are doing. I haven't seen many practice pictures yet. There's Steve Kennedy rolling out for day one of the practice 12 hours ago. So he's getting out there early, getting practice in. And then I thought I had an Instagram. All right, yeah, this is what I wanted to find here. On Instagram, Seth Feider is showing a picture of, he caught this smallie, and he says they're eating a little bit of everything. Puked all this up when he caught it, and he said that's not his jig. So it puked up, looks like either two different bait fish, or one that was half digested, another one that wasn't, and somebody else's jig with a D-bomb on it. So they appear to be eating. So that's an interesting picture from Seth. If that gives you any clues in how you should be picking, you can check out some of that social media stuff. For bucket A, Kevin Madame is stealing all the hype from ownership percentage, which he has been pretty decent here. He, one of his very first bass events ever was on the Thousand Islands. In his two Elite Series, he's got a 14th and a 41st, both times in the money. Polnick won here, and then had a 19th most recently. By the time he won, I think he was able to go out to Lake Huron, and that's now off limits. So really look at the 19th. Mark Davis, 6th and a 20th. Evers, the 25th and a 1st. So he won last time here. Keith Combs, 23rd and 9th. I mean, this is bucket A. All these guys catch them. I think Jordan Lee's fishing great right now. Hackney, Attifo, mixed results here. But I think based on the percentage and how they have done here in the past, I think Evers is the smart pick. But I don't think you can go wrong with any of these guys. I mean, even a guy like Jacob Wheeler, who doesn't have any history here, but he's a northern type angler, and he could do very well. So it's hard to say going wrong with any of these guys in this bucket for the most part. But that's who I'm going to roll with. I got 80 pounds, 3 ounces as my limit, which is a little higher than last time. Not as high as when Huron was there. But I do think technology advancements, sonar improvements, a lot of these guys have Ultrexes. That's going to help these guys stay on these fish in the current and keep the weights up. So that's what I'm thinking for this event. Let me know in the comments who your picks are, who you think is going to win, what your winning weight is. If you think any of my picks are crazy, you want to hear from me, give me some feedback if you like the show. And if you like it, follow me, thumbs up. And thanks for checking into Fantasy Fishing Edge.